Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. We're here for the Kiev Major Hub for the Qualifiers Southeast Asian region. We got a great game for you. It's going to be awesome. TNC Pro Team facing off against Clutch Gamers. I'm Lyrical. Aosin, you're with me as well. These two teams, they're on the rise. They're on the up and up. Are you excited?
I mean, I wouldn't say TNC is on the up and up.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
They've been pretty up there, right? But Clutch Gamers, I think this is them making their debut. I think they're doing pretty well right now in the open qualifiers.
Absolutely. And
Or not open qualifiers, the regional qualifiers, in fact.
Yeah, and I think that it's so cool because Clutch Gamers is a team that nobody would have really known about. There's maybe a few people that have been following some of the SEA games, if you're a big fan of them, but otherwise definitely unknown. And they are pretty close to being able to qualify for the playoffs, and they've been doing it in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, I think you mentioned earlier that this match is incredibly important for both teams. TNC is what currently 3-1,
3-1, yeah.
and Clutch Gamers are currently 2-1. And what was the current standing? I think TNC have most of the difficult opponents ahead of them.
Right, exactly.
Right, so they really need this win. And Clutch Gamers have gone through two or three of the more challenging teams.
Yeah, so the way that it's worked out so far is Clutch has taken down Geek Fam. That was the big one. They beat Geek Fam, and you had them beat Execration as well. And then they also ended up beating Team Bazaar. For TNC, they beat the Open Qualifier team, they beat Team Bazaar, and they beat Execration, but they lost to Geek Fam, who's like one of the big placeholder teams who's potentially going to be on the outside. So if TNC end up losing this game, that means that they will have lost to two of the teams that are in contention for that fourth spot in the playoffs and likely will be forced out of it. You've been talking about how good Mineski is, how good Faceless have looked. If they lose to all three of those teams, they're just going to be in a terrible spot and most likely out of the qualifiers. So a huge game, this one for TNC. Clutch Gamers still have a little bit of wiggle room where if they lose this, they're not completely out of it.
Yep, and Clutch Gamers have been looking pretty strong, and Kunkka is a second pick. This is a hero that I have not seen too often.
Yeah, they have taken it a couple of times over the past about month or so. It looks like they've got 5 picks and 80% win rate on it as well, so they value the hero quite highly. And I think that what it comes down to a lot for them is just trying to play it like super aggro. It looks like they also do tend to play it in the 2 position, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of nuts to me.
Really? 2 position? Huh.
I got to double check that one, but that might indeed be what it is. But we can talk a little bit about that in a second. The big thing that I'm seeing is they got Centaur and Coddle on TNC Pro Team.
Yeah. Probably going to be a Centaur Coddle dual lane, maybe, because I am not a big fan of the Coddle Rubik dual lane support or dual support.
10 seconds remaining.
And on the other side,
5 seconds.
if this is a mid Kunkka, how do they end up laning this?
All right, no, I'm very wrong. They don't do the mid Kunkka. I'm silly.
Okay.
They ended
I
up
was gonna
taking it in
say.
the support role, and they tended to take it with a Shadow Demon, which now has been banned out in the second phase. So we're going to have to see if they can pair it together with something else, maybe a Vengeful Spirit, Oracle from time to time for them. They even ran it at one point with a Disruptor, it looks like.
Weaver.
And they're going to go for the Weaver now.
TNC's turn to pick.
All right. So far, I've seen Clutch Gamers just kind of pick like huge wombo combo lineups for the most part. I think they've been doing that for majority of their games. This is like the first game I've seen them without a massive wombo combo. But there's still 2 more picks left, and they do have a Kunkka. And maybe we'll see a Darkseer. Maybe that'll be a combo. Vacuum Torrent is not easy to hit, but it's possible.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's kind of interesting is you talk about changing up the style here for Clutch Gamers, at least off of what they've been playing. If you're in the very last match of the day, and this is the last match for all of the teams in Southeast Asia, you are going to want to probably take something that either A, you feel really comfortable with, or B, something that you think is going to throw TNC off. And if they're able to win this, they're in just such a great position to go into the next day. So maybe trying to screw things up a little bit there. We'll see. Juggernaut going to be the take. Pretty great against the Kunkka, I feel like. Just a nice, safe answer.
Yeah, definitely.
5 seconds remaining.
I think like the way they would most likely run Kunkka is that he would just throw Torrents from the fog, and or just walk up and try to X the mid lane. But if they end up putting Juggernaut in the mid lane, he's not going to get caught up by these kind of gank attempts.
Oh, and there's
Oh,
that
and you caught the
Oracle.
Oracle.
TNC
Yeah, kind of an interesting look. Again, I think it's just to set up for a Tauren to try and shut down the offlane. And with now a Lone Druid and a Kunkka and an Oracle, Centaur might run into some issues. Granted, you'll probably have the Coddle down there as well who can help you out and maybe keep some of that tension off of them. But I don't know, we'll see.
5 seconds
Do you dual lane this with Centaur Coddle, do you think?
I think it's possible. I think it's probably going to be a Rubik Juggernaut. I think as a dual lane carry and a support, Rubik Juggernaut is fine together. So you can just send the Coddle to help out the Centaur. Because I don't think Coddle really offers anything to the lane if they decide to tri lane. I think the moment you see that tri lane, whoever's in the off lane will
10
just
seconds
go jungle.
remaining.
Well, and maybe that does give a little bit of
5 seconds
room.
remaining.
I mean, Clutch Gamers could go for the aggro or could go for the defensive tri-lane themselves if they wanted to.
Reserve time.
I feel like it might be hard to send Kunkka in a dual lane, particularly against a Juggernaut, as they ban out the Alchemist. And
Radiant team
so either like a really strong laning hero themselves who can deal with the Rubik cut Juggernaut and just like get farm, or somebody that can dual lane with Kunkka maybe.
I think they severely lack disables. They need an
10
offlaner that
seconds
can
remaining.
offer some kind of lockdown.
Okay. Well,
5
Slardar,
seconds remaining.
Axe both banned out. Batrider is a possibility.
Bad Rider, I think is okay. I was thinking of Tidehunter too, but I think that's like too long of a cooldown to work with.
Yeah. And they
What
could do the
else?
C Classic and a Puck.
There's also a Magnus, but there's no one you can give the Empower to, so
Dude, Kunkka. What are you talking about? It's great.
himself. Carry Magnus.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I kind of like Batrider. I don't know. You might run into issues still, but it feels like Clutch Gamers are just gonna want to get the like. Do they need another hero that does a ton of sort of?
I think they have the
disable?
damage. They just need disable right now. At least in my opinion.
Maybe they end up picking like a hero with an illusions or something for TNC in the last pick, and then if you have something like a single target Batrider, it doesn't end up working out. Like you can still just get ran over.
Well, they're running low on time. They're gonna have to decide on something.
Oh.
Ooh, nice call.
TNC
Could TNC
starting
just like
to
take
pick.
like a CK here or a PL or something like that?
They can always run Venge carry if they really wanted to. You could put
Oh.
Juggernaut mid
I like that idea.
10 seconds remaining.
because it gives you an answer to deal with the Batrider.
Yeah,
5 seconds remaining.
that sounds like it could be good. I guess that's sort of the two ways that you deal with it is either A, take somebody that's good against being able to deal with the Batrider, or maybe they go safe lane Centaur and take the Nyx.
Safe lane Centaur, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, we have seen that before. It's
Is-
not bad.
It was when the Mantis style was a thing, but
Yeah, it's no longer a thing, but it's still pretty strong.
get a bunch of farm for himself. Why not? I mean, do they have enough ways to deal with the Lone Druid?
I think so. I think just by having Centaur, you have a good way of dealing with Lone Druid. It allows you to just run at him.
Okay.
Although, maybe you'll need Blink on Juggernaut. Like Blink Diffusal, just so you can catch him and slow him down. Because even with Stampede, like, if Lone Druid has Max Rapid, like, he's going to run close to as fast as you are, even with
10
Stampede.
seconds remaining.
I gotta say that the Centaur pick, like, it makes me scared as a Kunkka player. They take the Timber Saw.
All right. We're going to see a Cuckoo Timber Saw then.
All right, we'll get ready to hop into the game here. It is Clutch Gamers versus TNC, and they're definitely going to need to be clutch this time around to put themselves in a position to move on into the playoffs. It would be a huge win for them and probably have a pretty free path towards it. And for my money, going into this, I felt like I was going to favor Clutch Gamers just because of their mentality, and I feel like they've been playing above where they've been previously, whereas TNC has been kind of playing down a little bit from what we would expect. But I feel like the Kunkka against the Stampede, if they get off to a hot start, Kunkka can't deal with heroes just running at them, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a good point. You just send the boat flying that way, and all of a sudden it seems like no one can die.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna spot out the Oracle, right? Did they see the Oracle walk by?
Didn't see any pings. It does look like he is...
Yeah, I think it's a little too far.
Yeah.
All right, 1 sentry to block the camp. Tim's is still holding on to knobs. Okay, he does drop it.
Okay. Bit of an interesting placement, that one. It gives them some vision around the lane and sort of the wraparound potential there as well. But this could be a really tough lane for them, and actually looks like Clutch are going in for it. Do you think this bears fruit? Can they find some kills here?
I think they will, because they're getting onto the hill for free.
Oh, Raven, he might spot them out. They're right there on top of him, but he can just go for the spin away. And yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. And they're not going to spot out either the Coddle or the Sam H. Centaur War Runner. And yeah, they're going to back out now. So going in to secure this bounty rune, and they should just trade them out. A little bit of a pause to talk things over.
Kind of strange to see Raven walking over to this rune. I guess they're putting him mid.
Yeah, that is interesting. Obviously, you can run him either position, but Raven more often than not played in the safe lane, whereas Cuckoo's been the one in the safe. I gotta say that actually kind of it doesn't give me a lot of confidence for them going forward. If you're in the middle of a tournament and you suddenly feel the need to switch up your lanes a little bit,
I think it's just the matchup.
Okay.
At least that's what I think. Because it's like I mentioned earlier. If Kunkka decides to rotate to the middle lane, he's gonna X you and then he's gonna torn combo you. And if you're running a Timber mid, there is the chance that you will die to that gank. Whereas if you're a Juggernaut, it's impossible because you can just spin out of the X.
So I guess maybe it could become like a waiting game of trying to force out the spin from the Jug.
I mean, it's like
It's
a
really
very,
hard.
very low percentage.
No. All right. Well, I take back my comments then. Cuckoo, you're still good.
Yeah, they're just gonna dodge the lane so that they don't have to run the risk of dying to a Kunkka.
All right. Well, the pause coming out, the last game of the day, just feels like it's meant to be in a certain way. Wouldn't have it any other way. Take a look at some of these cosmetics here. Look at this guy, Mr. Centaur himself.
Man, I like that set.
Yeah. I don't know what set it is.
It's one of the newer ones, right?
It might be. That would make sense to me.
We can now see it. You can now see it. Look, they added the change.
What?
You click on the Centaur and you can click on the identification.
Oh!
Yeah. The
Oh, that
magnifier.
is nifty. Look at him.
It is the Infernal Chieftain set.
Okay.
Well, maybe it's not a set. No, it's a set.
Infused Axe of the Proven. There's no pet, though. Gotta get a pet.
This interface is pretty cool.
How do you like the pets?
I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan. Can you elaborate on what it is in particular that you're not a fan of it about?
I mean, sometimes you're just so focused and you see your pet like jumping around. You're like, what is that?
Yeah.
You think like something is happening. It's just your pet walking around. I don't know.
Oh, this one is the awesome one. God, I love this one. He's got that like dark sword, black and red. Looks like a samurai, some sort of crazy dude. I hope that shows up on stream. That's the one thing, is that when you do camera stuff, not always does it show up on the Dota TV audio. A little Jester coming out from the Rubik.
This is a cool set.
Do you have a favorite set in the game?
No, not really.
I do.
What is it?
I think it's the Kuroki Rubik set.
I don't even remember what it looks like.
It's that like hooded one. He's all creepy looking.
Oh, okay, I remember now. Yeah, yeah.
It's great.
I mean, I wouldn't know, because anything I have of value, I just end up selling anyways.
I guess that's fair enough. It's probably the way to be.
Yeah, all of my cosmetics are like, you know, less than 10 cents.
All right, everybody, you know what you got to do. Get some cosmetics sent out to Aosin.
No, thank you.
So that way you can sell
I
them.
mean, yeah, yeah. If you do that, I'm just gonna sell them.
All right. Well, we're back into the game. Clutch Gamers, they went in for a gank attempt, weren't quite able to find Raven. I was wondering if maybe you go for like a torrent play there as they were walking up the hill. They could have found something.
It's really difficult because they didn't get a good enough angle on the
The
hill,
begins.
so they couldn't see. Here comes the torrent. Oh, the bear managed to pick up the bounty rune because of that torrent.
Okay. So they take that one. They end up trading it 2 apiece. And it is actually Weaver going to the off lane. Hana is going to be playing it. Bat Rider mid against the Jug. Were they expecting the Timber Saw here?
I think so. And I think TNC expected them to expect that. Mind games.
I mean, this isn't a terrible matchup for the Bat Rider, though, right? Like, he's
No,
going to
it's
be able
not.
to have a good time.
Yeah, it's not.
In the meantime, the Kunkka just barely able to, well, not dodge because he's been standing still this whole time, but not get hit at the very least by the Illuminate. And how about the Weaver against the Timber Saw and also the Rubik, I guess, in tow as well? Does like Rubik need to be careful about getting gone on?
Only if he decides to trade with Weaver. As far as Timbersaw versus Weaver goes, this is like a pretty easy matchup for Timbersaw. Just by having reactive armor, Weaver is not going to do any damage to him. You can just constantly force the creep wave to go on you, and you'll just constantly keep up the stacks.
Okay. You can see right here, Cuckoo not really afraid of diving deep for this one and causing some amount of trouble. We can also see that over in the jungle, there was a double stack used now by the Coddle. He can come back in once the 3-minute mark is going to happen, and then maybe you're able to move in and try and take those down with the Centaur and the Coddle combination. Quite strong.
Looks like they're trying to catch someone bottom, but they can't decide on a target. I don't think they can go on the Centaur. He's just way too tanky.
He is going in for the 2-minute rune. Going to go for the double edge, punches him once, and actually might be in a little bit of trouble here. He has hoof stomp and another double edge. Kunkka possibly going to end up going down. They do find it. First blood,
really
nicely
well
played
played.
by Sam H.
5-second double edge timer.
Yeah, that's absurd. And an arcane rune to boot, but it looks like that's going to be going to Tim's. And they'll shrine up. This is a great start to the laning stage for TNC.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately for them, the mid lane is a little rough for the Juggernaut. He is sending out the magic wand, so this will definitely help him lane.
They are going to be going in for a little bit of a jump onto Sam H. I don't think that they're going to be able to find anything here too much at the very least.
They need a level 2 on Oracle. It's kind of hard to do enough damage without the Purifying Flames.
Oh. Buzz,
Oh,
they
he
end up
gets X.
getting, there's the X, Torrent to follow. They're going to connect onto him and ends up hitting a Torrent onto 2 now. A good bit of damage going down. Looks like they are going to be able to find the kill onto Tim's. Well, everybody's super low. Oh, he cancels the double edge, tries to take down the lone
the
Druid.
south.
He's going to be able to outplay him for the moment and possibly even dive a little bit deeper under tower. Takes the kill. He loses his bear, but that's well worth it.
I really appreciate that play from Sam H. I think he knew that he would have survived if he kept running, but he deemed it worthwhile to stun the bear and double edge the bear. But unfortunately, the tower took the kill, so it didn't pay off in the end. But if he did manage to kill off the bear, I think that 300 gold is actually worth him dying there.
A great display. It does mean that there's going to be a shrine now used by Clutch Gamers. They can go back into this. Taking chances is great, but every now and then it doesn't end up paying off. I do kind of wonder at what point they're going to go in to mess with these stacks. Radiant are aware of it with this ward that was placed deep in here. We didn't see a triple stack made by those 2 camps for Tims, so they decided to get aggressive. Could end up going for it shortly. Is this a lineup, though, the support duo that can go and contest the stacks?
I don't think so. The damage just isn't quite enough. Oh. Here comes the hoof stomp. Illuminate. Double edge.
A lot of damage. He's going to have it again in a second. Can't go for the X. Pulls him back in. Walks
Ooh,
away.
that's so close. And they're
So
gonna get the
close.
cuddle.
Tim's maybe going to drop in. Actually, he's trying to cover the angle.
Oh
They
my
find the
goodness.
kill. Oh, baby. This Kunkka.
That was a pretty solid attempt from TNC, but fortunately the damage just wasn't there, and Coddle is pretty squishy, only having 1 armor there.
Yeah. We are seeing the drums build out of the Bat Rider, at least for now, and can keep that up. All the other lanes have been very passive. You know, you see that Hana has gotten up to a level 5, hasn't really had to deal with too much. Timbersaw's gotten his level 6. Mid lane, it's fairly even as well. It's come to the tune of still very even across all of the net worth in spite of the kills going to the favor of Clutch Gamers.
Yep. And I'm not too sure how well this offlane Weaver is going to work out. Is he going to have the damage he needs when the mid game comes around? Because Kuko is like doing really well in this kind of a 1v1. 36-2 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Rubik.
Might be in
the
trouble,
damage.
trying to get out. Rior, yeah, he's able to escape. Yeah, I don't know. I think that they have a lot of people to help him with it. As well,
bottom.
Torrent gonna connect. The Spirit Bear is on top of him. They do also have a Purifying Flames here if they wanted to try and go for it, but it's quite hard to take down this Centaur. And instead, they're just gonna send the bear off to pick up the Bounty Rune. Invis Rune for Sam H.
Is he going to find him?
Oh my God.
Oh my god, he's going to find him.
Running.
He's fast enough, I think.
I
They're the exact same movement speed. He's not going to catch him.
Oh my God, that's so frustrating. Yeah, just time wasted, and good heads-up play there, recognizing what was going on for the Kunkka. They are moving in now to try and go and soak up some of this experience from this stack of camps.
Mid lane, though. This could be a potential kill. There is an Omni Slash ready.
They need to be careful, because honestly, Sam H is pretty low as well. They're trying to find it. Lift, the right clicks. Yeah, that's enough.
Very nice gank.
My finest work.
Yeah, I was a little worried, but after seeing the Rubik rotate in, that was definitely a very safe kill.
Okay. Wow, look at this stack over here, too. Got a couple of them going for him in the Radiant as well. Who said that stacking was dead? Still got to do it from time to time.
Didn't manage to stack it, but
What the
still a
hell?
nice chunk of gold.
Why are you going to make me look bad like that? Come on, Bucks.
It's not easy. Some of these camps are so tricky to stack now.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, 7.5 minutes in. We're going to see TP back by the bear. Do you feel like this pace of the game favors one team over the other? Like, is any team really anxious to get stuff done, or a team that's going to come out of the laning stage really strong and hard to deal with?
I think both teams actually are going to be pretty strong if they play somewhat passively in the laning phase. I think having the levels on Centaur and both of the supports is going to be really strong after the laning phase ends. And for Clutch Gamers, well, they're not going to go Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider first, but I think having Kunkka 6 is going to be really big. Same with having Oracle 6. Like all of these support heroes are going to be game-changing if they get their levels.
Well, you can see that they are taking out those stacks, and the bear was able to Savage Roar to secure the Bounty Rune as well. So Lone Druid continuing to just be a bit of a pest, as looks like he actually put the Gloves of Haste and Phase Boots on the Spirit Bear. There's no way that he is playing the actual bear, right?
No, there's no way. I'm really curious about this too. Why does? Oh, he moved the Phase Boots so that he could run it over to get the Bounty Rune, but did he forget to move the boots back?
I don't know. Because he has the Maelstrom queued up. Yeah, there's no way you're playing the old style bear. Right?
No, there's no way.
Okay.
If you were, you wouldn't put Phase Boots on your bear, I don't think.
Oh yeah, what is it, treads then anyways?
No,
probably
no,
just
you just brown
Midas.
boot.
Yeah.
Just brown boot.
Now Rior moves in. They want to get the lift, the stampede, but the savage roar, and they're moving back away pretty quickly. That's not something that you normally expect. I like that.
Yeah, he's very active with his bear.
Yeah. Did Sam H just cancel the pull? Oh no! There must have been some kind of communication error there because Rior was looking like he wanted to pull it into lane, and then Sam H ended up just going in to double edge the creep camp, and because of that now it's just going to be able to stay here and they should be fine.
They're walking into the jungle. They're just jungling again. I guess they want to give Rior some space to farm because he is only level 4 and it's about 10 minutes in. Rubik is really lacking in EXP right now.
He's going to be able to
Look at this bear. It's so annoying. Oh my goodness. Savage roar.
Did he do
once
it
again? Yeah, and stealing the yeah, so he just puts the phase boost on the bear just so he can do this, and then he moves it back.
Huh. That's a pretty nifty little trick. I like it. And of course, if you can see the two heroes that are off to the side jungling, then you don't have to worry about
Not having boots, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely.
Top lane.
They actually going to try and go for this?
Invis Bad Rider.
Okay.
It looks like he was spotted because he TP'd to the shrine. So Cuckoo knows about this, and he's standing underneath a sentry ward too.
Yeah, backing out. They are very well aware, and Cuckoo is going to get all the way out of there. So cutting the creep wave now. Well, Raven going to get chased down. Oracle trying to fog him. Heads back the other direction. They get the Omni Slash off, and yeah, it's going to be the death of
Bottom
him.
lane, Rior looks like he's going to go down.
So they find another kill. 1-for-1 exchange, and look at this net worth at this point. It's definitely feeling very even, but I think Bat Rider is maybe going to be that like X factor here, who's sort of top of the mark. And Cuckoo, they're playing around him. They aren't able to find any kills here. TNC, they just forced back a bunch of rotations, and maybe the Chakram now on top of the Kunkka. They drop the Torrent. It's going to connect onto one, and that's one gone, but Sam H might go down as well. Right-clicks on top of him. The Flame Break already has been used, but it's stolen now by the Rubik. Might end up trying to push back Amo with that one as they're on top of him. They drop the Flaming Lasso. That's a dead Rubik. Juggernaut trying to get into this fray as well, but he's going to be out of mana after this and can't really do anything to help. So free lane for the Oracle. Free lane for the Lone Druid, and you end up getting kills on top of it. Great win right there for Clutch.
Yeah, definitely. And originally, the Timbersaw was winning the lane, but with these kills assisting the Weaver, this Weaver is pretty much going to be... I wouldn't say he's like, carry, free farm kind of a Weaver, but he's got quite a bit done from the off lane. Almost has his Dragonlance, got Treads and Aquila. Yeah, Weaver's doing pretty good right now.
Third most farmed hero in the game, and... I want to mention again, they keep stealing this bounty rune with the Lone Druid. He just did it again against the Coddle. It's gotta just be... I mean, it's not like the biggest play in the world in terms of the net worth swing, but it's got to be so frustrating. Now
Yeah,
Cuckoo, rooted to the spot. The Torrent can follow, maybe? Oh, no. He's not quite in range. Oh, he gets it! What? All right, they end up getting a Stampede, but the X is there as well. Cuckoo... just severely hemmed in right here by this Kunkka. Flame Break pushback. He's still incredibly tanky, and they are not able to bring him down, but they keep getting these torrents off, showing why that Kunkka is such an early pick for them on occasion.
Yeah, unfortunately, in order to kill off the Timbersaw, they need the Ghost Ship and potentially even like Flaming Lasso from Bat Rider.
Yeah.
That was a pretty huge commitment. They pulled like 4 people up there and they couldn't get the kill, but I mean they managed to get a stampede out of it, so it wasn't all for naught.
Another Torrent connecting onto Raven here. And you do have the Flaming Lasso available, but maybe a little bit too scary to try and go in fully for that one. You mentioned how Rubik is going to sit in here and start getting levels. Is already up to now level 6, so he can maybe start to make things happen in this team fights a little bit more effectively. Oh, Raven, all right, able to find one. That's going to be a kill. And Kunkka going down.
Yeah, nice pick off from Raven. He just walks in the jungle and does whatever he wants because of these deep wards by the Dire or by TNC.
Yeah, so frustrating. I'm sure. So, Oracle level 6 for himself. You do have level 6 on Kunkka. Is this a time when you can start thinking about getting aggressive, or do you just sort of wait for people to dive in and then punish with the rotations in a different way?
I think this is definitely a time to get aggressive, especially since the Bad Rider just picked up the Blink Dagger.
All right.
Oh, he revealed his Blink Dagger as a farming mid. It's kind of surprising.
Well, they are still down here in this bottom lane, and the rotation soon to come. It's not smoked up, but they still don't have vision of this until they move right into range. They spot that the Observer Ward is placed down, though, and now Stampede trying to chase, trying to see if they can get the kill. They get the lift up. No Omni Slash this time. Gush is stolen, and they're able to pop the ulti. So still alive for the moment. Torrent as well as Ghost Ship. He's going to be incredibly survivable here, but might still die nonetheless. Yeah, is not able to get away from that.
Really not taking chances. I feel like they did more than enough damage, but they were not going to risk it. Oh, Blink Lasso.
But now they don't have anything to get out of this fray, and that's going to be another kill going their way. Raven goes down. And they're pressuring the top lane while this is all happening.
Yeah, that was a very, very good trade. And
Maybe
they're going to defend this. Yeah, Hana TP down.
All
Has
right.
to be careful, though. He doesn't have enough mana.
Cuckoo, they're going to try and take it. Already is being able to take down Fly So, but Barrio is gone. Now the minus armor starting to stack up. They're going to go for Sam H first. Right clicks. Is it enough? No, they're not going to be able to find that kill. Still, though, many stacks of sticky napalm. The flame break in the mid chain.
Very nice catch.
But he is
There
still.
comes the X.
All right.
Do they have the damage?
Possibly. They're going to have another boat in a bit. And yeah, Cuckoo, he ends up falling.
6 stacks of napalm. Of course they have enough damage. Even with that Hood of Defiance, 6 stacks of sticky napalm and Firefly on top of you, you're not going to be alive for long. I have to say, Clutch Gaming, they
look good, don't they?
They look really good. And I mean, I have to give a lot of praise to Abing. He is very, very good on this lone druid. Just watching him control his bear, like he has saved himself so many times by properly positioning his bear and savage roaring at the right time. And it might not sound like much, but to do it time and time again, this is a very impressive feat.
Yeah.
You can see that he is well practiced with this hero.
I think that Clutch Gamers is, again, one of those teams that not a lot of people are going to have like a ton of familiarity with. They played in a lot of different sort of Tier 2 SEA online qualifiers, pro Dota matches. They ended up being able to take down Geek Fam, I believe, in a best of 5. It might have been a different team, but they were playing best of 5s, won it throughout the region. I think they were playing in Mr. Cat as well recently. They've been doing a great job there. And it's just been a team that's on the rise in SEA and now potentially ready to take down one of the big boys, TNC Gaming. Although TNC might have something to say about that.
Oh, Bad Rider not going to find anyone. Very interesting build from him. Just Blink Dagger straight into Boots of Travel. Not opting for the 4-step first. Oh, TNC turning around.
And nice blink away, though. Well, I mean, while this is happening, though, you look at Lone Druid. He's just all across the map. Takes the tier 1 in the mid lane.
Yeah, he's very farmed right now.
And Cuckoo getting aggro yet again. Going to get caught and pulled back in by that X-Torrent combination. That was Torrent stole. Oh, no, X stolen. How did that work? He torrented afterwards. All right, whatever. Oh, because he pulled him back in. That's why. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, I see.
It's like, did he cast the Torrent knowing where he was going to stand with the X? What?
Well, that was a 5-man commitment to the top tower. Like you said, Lone Druid is just farming away. And right now, looks like Clutch Gaming is in a really good spot. The lead is actually not that large. Oh, actually, it's pretty large. 4,000 in XP is pretty big.
Yeah. The plus side, if you're right now on the side of TNC, is that the Coddle almost has Aghanim Scepter, 400 gold away from finishing that one off, and that can make all the difference in the world in these fights. Helps mitigate the split pushing potential that you have on the Lone Druid, all of these things. And well, also, obviously the X marks the spot for the Rubik Stone for a good duration now. Can also cause a lot of issues for the Lone Druid.
Yeah, definitely. And, well, I think this is a good time to maybe potentially go for a smoke. Sam H does have his Blink Dagger now. Omni Slash is up as well. I think they should try to find a pick off here. Might even be able to convert it into a Roshan. I think they have enough damage.
Okay. I keep on seeing them make these movements up towards Cuckoo, and they don't have vision in the area. The pings come out. They know that they want to go on him, but Cuckoo, very well aware of what could happen. Oh, he actually, oh no,
Oh,
that's
he
a
missed
huge
it.
problem. Even if he made that chain, I think that he goes down here.
Right.
So X.
They're trying to save him, though.
Boat Torrent.
Like,
I don't know.
He's
if
still
this is
very,
the
very
play.
alive.
They're going to be able to pull him back in. That's the Flaming Lasso. If they take this fight right now, I don't know if it's going to end up working too effectively. They actually misplayed right there, ended up using the Savage Roar on the Lone Druid instead of the Bear, and because of that, Raven able to continue chase. They found the kill onto one. They are potentially going to lose the Weaver. He has a time lapse available still, and instead is just going to be able to Sakuchi it down to the south.
All that commitment on a Timber Saw, and he walks away at full health.
Yeah, that's silly.
But that was a very disciplined play from Clutch Gaming, though. Identifying that they need to turn around and run away. Oh, Reor gets caught out. Oh, look at that damage.
That was really close. They do spot Cuckoo, but hard to make anything happen there. And again, while this is going on, you've got the bottom lane pressured in. The Boots of Travel on the Bat Rider making the difference.
Oh, he just blinked in.
Oh, God, no.
Raven knows.
They've already used the drum charge. All right, yeah, and Raven's going to back out now. That could have been a kill, definitely.
Yeah. Good heads-up play from Raven, but not quick enough.
And he talked about that Roshan potential. You get a DD on Lone Druid. Yes, please. We'll have that Mjolnir finished off very shortly. Time to move in and try and take down these tier 2 towers. They've got good vision over in this area where the fight would happen at, but so too do TNC. And with the Bloodstone newly minted by Cuckoo, if they win a big fight right now, pretty much everything else gets eliminated from the early game. He's going to start racking up those charges.
Yeah, but yeah, they have no intention of defending this, and they're just trying to buy as much time as possible for Raven to pressure this bottom tower.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think he has enough. A Manta alone is not enough to take objectives quickly.
Oh, nice deny there by Tim's. That was a lot of creeps on there, too.
Yeah, that's always impressive, considering he has 90 damage.
Yeah, absolutely. So 4-staff done. You talked about that unusual build on Amel on the Bat Rider. He's going to be going back for the BKB now. Makes a lot of sense there as well. Going to kill off and cut the creep wave yet again. They do want to try and find a jump here, though, with Centaur, Coddle, and Juggernaut in the area.
Yeah, Sam H has been patiently waiting down here, but Clutch Gamers are just not showing up.
And I'm really just looking at this Centaur and thinking how little farm he has in comparison to what the Weaver is looking like. Like, Weaver feels like a real hero in this game that's about to have a Lincoln Sphere done. And you compare that to what Sam H is sitting at, and it's just like he is the first component of his Aghanim, so he's still 3,000 gold away from making that item really worthwhile.
Right. I think that's just kind of how he has to play it. This is how he usually plays the off lane. The only exception is whenever he ends up playing Darkseer, then he just gets massively farmed.
Well, as it stands, all of Clutch Gaming looking for a kill, but they do not realize TNC are doing the same thing down bottom.
They're just hiding in the trees right now. This is like incredibly patient play from them. They even throw out the scan just to make sure that they're not arriving from the upper area. They finally reveal themselves. They realize that both sides have just completely avoided each other.
Yeah.
This is a really, really good for TNC, though. This is pretty much a free tower for them, and they don't lose anything in return.
Yeah, absolutely great. And they can even, like, maybe try and force somebody back. I guess the Lone Druid, he can stay here the whole time. They're not going to be able to really threaten high ground at all.
They need to bait out Cuckoo. They need to do the same thing. Just force Clutch Gaming to think that they're going to be able to kill a Timbersaw, when in fact he's just baiting.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, he doesn't even care about them trying to go on him right now. He's just going to kill the creep wave before the backdoor protection.
What a stun!
They're on top of him. The damage, it's so huge. They are going to be able to kill off both the Oracle as well as that Kunkka. And now, maybe in some trouble, the Rubik is chasing down Hana with Sakuchi stolen. This might end up being another one. They're not going to be able to get there in time with the rest of the heroes, but yeah, what a stomp.
That big 3-man stomp, and this is why he doesn't need a farm.
Yeah.
You have he has his blink dagger. He's gonna carry the team anyways.
You start off the fight like that, and certainly TNC, if they can replicate that over and over again, it's going to be looking quite better for them.
Let's take a look right now. I mean, the game is like fairly even.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clutch Gaming is only up ahead by like 3,000. 25 minutes. Not exactly the largest amount. And Cuckoo, he's slowly reaching raid boss status, just picking up his plate mail, so now he doesn't have to worry too much about the physical damage from Clutch Gaming's side.
Yeah. And, well, it's pretty hard to bring him down. We talked about it.
Want to go for this.
Start building up these Bloodstone charges. A big fight right here. If they could find the Oracle, get on top of him. They drop one ward, able to spot him right at the start, and they blow up the Oracle. Boat not going to be on the mark. They do end up applying the buff onto their heroes, and Omni Slash already down onto several. Can they kill them off? Tim's uses a really great blinding light there, but will end up falling nonetheless. Hana is in the midst of everybody. Needs to get out. Time lapse. Is it going to come in time? Barely. Maybe. Yes, he does. The Brum buff was playing a huge part right there. Now looking for more. Timbersaw rooted.
Oh, Raven is so low. He's going to go down. He gets X.
Yeah,
not
the
have
pull
spin.
back in. A little bit of a misplay there as the Kunkka was getting controlled, and they weren't able to get the pullback quite in time. Amel, Flame Break, pushing them away. They're on to Rior. That's the pullback. They might be able to bring him down. Cuckoo so low it is going to fall. They throw out the false promise. Oracle came back into the fray, and now Rior going down as well. And Clutch Gamers most likely going to die. Rior? Yeah, they got him.
Oh, that's the gem.
Oh well, Courier gets
ready.
it. Nicely played. Yeah, and I think that Weaver now needs to back out. Good recognition, heads-up play there by TNC to get the gem.
Oh, man, that team fight. It looks so promising for TNC. They immediately pick off the Oracle before he's even able to cast anything. But since
minus 20 respawn
time. Since his level is low and he has the talent, comes back into the fray immediately. And thanks to that that Kunkka ult, Weaver was able to time-lapse as well. Just a series of unfortunate events for TNC in that team fight.
Yeah, it really does sort of double down upon your survivability when you've got the Oracle ulti and Rum buff on top of you. It would naturally be like a pretty easy to kill hero like a Weaver. It just becomes nigh impossible, particularly if you have both False Promise and the Rum buff on you at the same time.
Yeah, and if you look at his items, I wouldn't even consider him an easy target to kill at this point. He has 2,000 life, has that Lincoln Sphere, and now he's going back for some damage. Picking up a Diffusal Blade.
That's quite good. A lot of things to help make that work. They are doing another little recall to the top, as it looks like they are only leaving the Rubik to defend the high ground for the moment. And, well, they're going to be able to kill off Amel. Now coming back to try and defend against this pressure onto the Tier 2 tower, and looks like they will stop the pressure there. Centaur?
Oh, he sees him.
Oh, good
Very
force.
Nice force there.
And the poof immediately as well. Doesn't even get the bear.
Look at that style. All right, Raven has the Blink Dagger now. So he has what it takes to kill off this lone druid.
I mean, this is the type of build that you mentioned in the draft that you wanted to see, the Blink and the Diffusal Blade with the Manta style. Do you like going back for the Mjolnir on the Jug?
I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's kind of preference. It's kind of hard to say for this game, though, simply because there is so much damage coming out of the Radiant side that if he does end up going for Mjolnir, he's walking around with 1,500 life.
Right.
Whereas if he decided to go for Scotty, he's going to be much tankier, but at that point, I'm not too confident in their damage output.
Right. And I guess also needing to make sure these waves continue to be pushed out. That Coddle does solve that problem. I guess Timbersaw does too, so yeah. Maybe it is just needing to be that like strong right-click damage dealer. That
Oh, Rior. Not going to be able to steal anything. That damage just chunking him.
Yeah, Weaver has definitely turned into another one of these cores.
Yep.
And just, I guess the, passive laning stage ended up favoring him quite heavily. And they do have the X now onto the Timber, pulling him back in. There's going to be the Torn a little bit off the mark. And the Diffusal Blade used as well, throwing the root back at that Oracle. And they will stop the pressure there. While mid lane, or rather top lane, is being pushed in by Raven.
Well, it looks like TNC is kind of playing the split push game now. Trying their best to delay once again. Oh, Sam H.
Oh my god.
Damage.
Yeah, that hurts. That is a really, really rough go of it, and maybe going to be able to find a bit more as well. They can't quite connect onto the Timbersaw, but the Tier 2 tower is already down, and you look at this movement, they're ready to go up to high ground. No Stampede, no Centaur for 35 seconds. This is probably going to be a Tier 3 tower.
Oh, the bear. Just making it out. Is he going to TP it back?
He could.
Just to save it?
I mean, he has the resummon still. And he sends it in. That's the Tier 3 down. And with that, it does indeed look like Clutch Gamers are going to be able to finish off these shrines and continue to build upon the advantage, which has slowly been going up and up and up throughout the game, basically.
Yep. And Kunkka building towards Guardian Greaves is going to be very, well, I wouldn't say very, but pretty damn tanky once he gets it. And one shrine down as well. So what was a pretty even game earlier, it's starting to break away now. Clutch Gaming about 8,000 gold lead. Oh, this is rough for TNC. I think they had the right idea trying to go for pickoffs, but those don't exactly come too often. I think Clutch Gaming is not taking any chances, playing closer together, and just not giving TNC an opening to make a comeback. This next Roshan is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, and there's a large possibility that the next one, you will have the Aghanim Scepter Centaur there. Maybe not. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to farm it in time. Sam H sort of looks a little bit lost. There's nowhere for him to farm right now because you have to get these other items up on your heroes, and they've been fairly well hemmed in. So a tough go of it, and oh, I like the play too. Batrider TP boots out right as the X comes down, and then they push out the lane with it.
Oh, very nice. But Sam H will have time to farm this. I think Clutch Gaming not too confident in going for the Roshan just now, simply because it should be daytime. Yeah. So daytime comes around right now.
They're going for it.
Oh, they're going for it.
Oh my god, the minus armor. Oh, and that's the other nice little part about it is the Fate's Edict no longer giving the bonus damage, but
TNC is just a little too late. It's already dead.
Yeah, the DD.
They had the right idea too.
Yeah, that hurts. That really hurts. And they might still think about going in right now. TNC possibly a bit impatient, but does not look like they will find anybody. Kunkka backs out as well.
They might be able to find someone. No, it looks like they're going to be regrouping. Oh, the big wraparound. Is this going to work out for them? If they find the supports right here, if they walk up and they find the supports.
Oh, they're right off the mark.
Oh,
they
this is
are
gonna be big.
still in an okay position, but, well, the stomp, they get the force staff out, the boat, it's going to go through. Everybody does get the bonus rum buff, and Amel ends up popping the BKB as well. So it does not look like they're going to be able to take him down because the Aegis has already popped once. That's going to be a kill onto the Coddle. The chase now continues as Sam H is maybe going to end up falling here. They're disarmed, but still getting the damage mitigation. Kunkka survives, able to live through it. And, well, Raven now also in trouble. The right clicks from the Lone Druid. Cuckoo doing everything that he possibly can. They are disarming the Lone Druid. Not the best play in the world, but I still think that's going to end up working for him. Yeah, they get the X. They get the pullback. That is going to be a dead Timbersaw, and 5 gone in a disastrous team fight.
Oh, and they lost the gem too. That just went from bad to worse. They had a very, very good shot at winning that team fight, but unfortunately, they were just a split second too late. both of the supports made it right past them, and they decide to go for the target that has the Aegis.
Yeah. Ami/him solo.
Yeah, and the moment they went for the moment they made the decision to go for the hero with the Aegis, I think the team fight was just lost.
Wow.
Like right at that moment.
Well, a devastating loss, and this, I mean, you know, you don't want to talk too quickly about what it's going to end up looking like for the rest of the qualifiers, but it certainly ain't looking great. This is a tough one. They're jumping in, pulling back one. Rubik right at the start of this, going to be brought down. They pop the link into the damage mitigation, not nearly enough, and well, they're taking down the melee barracks. You have Cuckoo that's in front of everybody losing mana, just wants desperately to stick on top of him. You see him over and over again just going for this Kunkka.
Oh, Hana.
Time lapse, and he's gone. Well, maybe
Wait,
not.
yet.
Possibly.
Uh-oh.
He's forced staff to the low ground, and they use another Savage Roar. They're right-clicking Raven. Another Entangle could come, but will not happen. A Scotty for Weaver at this point. Cuckoo just keeps going in. Another X used. The Torrent going to connect, and well, now looks like with that, they should be able to make an escape. The boat is available if they need to throw it out. But Fly Solo ends up Glimmer Caping, doesn't quite survive. And they might just do it in a second here as the chase is finally going to be called off. But that's a melee barracks, and they only get an Oracle for it, as well as, I think, buybacks, wasn't it? Or did they not? No, they didn't buy back anybody.
Yeah, you can just check the buyback status. Yeah, no one bought it.
They found a gem on the ground. There it is.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They didn't even see it.
Well,
it seems like a good trade. Got the melee racks, and all you lose is an Oracle, and he's already back. Rubik trying to steal Shikuchi, but not able to get it. Man, this Weaver is so decked out. 3,000 health. How do you even kill him?
it's so hard. And they have the two defensive supports to boot. It's all going into their favor.
Yep.
So TNC, Rior, trying to put himself in a position to make this team fight work, is going to be forced to Glimmer Cape out. So they do have vision here in the lane. Did they spot this with the gem? Did they keep the gem on him? Doesn't look like it. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about these upcoming team fights. They pretty much need a dream initiation for TNC. There's a lot of room for error for TNC's side right now, and Clutch Gaming is probably feeling pretty relaxed. There's not much that can go wrong for them, in my opinion. As long as Oracle and Kunkka don't get caught out together, I think they're like very, very much in control of this game right now.
So bottom lane is where they're going to try and take that control that they have and push it to the next level. Bot's still there for Batrider, so he can get into the fray if they do decide to go for it. And this is, to me, the strongest part of Batrider's kit, that in this late game scenario, if you pull somebody into the fight, Lone Druid is just going to be able to evaporate them. So
Not even just Lone Druid, this Weaver as well.
yeah, that too.
Both of them doing large amounts of damage. And this Lone Druid already, man, he's also decked out. Everyone's decked out on this team. Look at the net worth. Lone Druid.
Yeah,
About like 6,000, 7,000 over Timbersaw.
speaking of Timbersaw, they kill off the courier, and well, he ends up getting X'd now. The Torrent a little bit off the mark, and the Glimmer Cape is going to mean that he gets out of there. But
what was on the courier? 3,000 gold down?
oh my god, what'd they have?
Oh, it was
the Aghanims?
it was Timbersaw's eggs.
Oh, wow.
That hurts.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Yeah, that's really bad. X marks the spot there to make the Lone Druid get into a position where he can keep going and sieging while remaining safe.
Well, Raven's trying his best to split push.
They are going to be able to X back the Weaver.
Interesting defense.
Yeah. Playing it safe? Why not?
Decent.
They can do it with the Batrider too if they wanted to.
Yeah, but he needs his Firefly for the initiation.
Okay. So, Tier 3 tower soon to be assaulted. Goes into bear form, back out afterwards. Gets the buff onto him. Right clicks onto the tower.
Does a
Light is
million
not there.
damage.
They take down the Observer Ward. There's the tier 3. The pullback on the Weaver. Excuse me, not the Weaver, the Rubik. He is gone. And the Illuminate spam is going to be able to take down the Bear. Not sure if it's enough, though. And nice jump there from the Centaur as
here
well.
comes
The
the boats
boats as well. Maybe, possibly, they can make something happen here. It's not the cleanest of initiations, but Hana already using time-lapse. They're on top of him. And they just don't have the damage that they need. A hoof stomp is big. Can it be enough, though? They almost are able to take him down. Lone Druid alive on nothing. 15 HP. And the Omni Slash maybe going to be able to bring them down, but still everybody is still alive. What?
They need to find as many kills as possible. Like,
Hana ends up taking down the kill onto Tim's on the back lines. They're all chasing away, and Sam H is going to go down as well. They're just focusing way outside all of their attention on trying to take down that Lone Druid or the Kunkka, and in the meantime, they take a Barracks with the Weaver and get 2 kills.
oh boy.
That's tunnel vision right there. It's a long day for these guys.
I think they weren't really left with much of a choice.
Yeah.
They have to make something happen, and I mean, if you see low health heroes, you gotta go for them, because they're far enough behind that a couple kills will make a huge difference. But unfortunately, they end up losing a lot for that, and Sam H even buys back.
Well, 20,000 net worth into the favor of Clutch Gamers, 20,000 experience almost as well. And we talked during the draft, during the beginning of the segment, how important this win would be, and more importantly, how important the loss would be for TNC. I'm struggling to figure out ways in which they qualify even into the playoffs, given how good the other teams have been playing. If they lose this game against Clutch,
They're gonna have to sort themselves out and pretty much win the rest of their matches, right?
I think something like that, and it's against quite good teams.
Yeah.
So certainly tomorrow's a new day, and this game is not over either. There's a chance for them to come back into it. What would it need to look like for TNC to get back into this game?
They have to start off with killing off the supports. If they can't kill the supports, okay, that's not how you start the team fight.
Oh, a lot of damage coming out. The
That's a
boat buff is
buyback.
there as well. That's going to be Cuckoo. Ran down. Rior's gone. They're all over this guy. The
Nice.
Fusel Blades can't come out as well if they want. The Omni Slash maybe to turn it, but the Greaves, they're just taking no damage at all. Raven doing his bestest, but all of the right clicks coming through. A double kill there for the Lone Druid, and soon to be dead is Cuckoo as well. 5 down. TNC, I think, just lost the game. Good game, well played. And that one's got to hurt.
Oh man! Right, as I was explaining how they need to win the team fight, they hoof stomp a hero that cannot be killed. They jump the Weaver, and from that moment on, the game's already over. There is absolutely no way they're going to win these team fights unless they catch out the Oracle and the Kunkka together. That's like the only way, and even then, I would still question their chances at winning the team fight. That's how far behind they were. 1607 offlane Weaver.
That is so incredibly impressive. I can't believe. Well, do you think that it was a misplay allowing him to get to that point? Like they stuck Cuckoo up in the top lane because they wanted the better matchup where they wouldn't get roamed on in the mid lane, so Juggernaut could be more survivable there. But it came at the cost of Weaver getting what he wanted. It's so hard to say in retrospect because at the time it felt like the right decision. But obviously, seeing the full picture of it, we see how tragic it ended up being.
He just ended up getting way too much in the lane. I think they were okay with making the trade as long as Sam H managed to get a decent amount of farm, because there isn't exactly the greatest amount of lockdown for the Weaver. And if they really wanted to kill him, it would pretty much have to come from a hoof stomp and then into a lift. And apart from that, there's just not enough lockdown. And since he got to the point where he was able to essentially free farm his way into a Lincoln Sphere, once it reached that point, there was just very, very little chance of them making a kill happen.
Well,
at least against Weaver.
Clutch Gamers, they are feeling to me quite clutch.
Thank you. But it's good to see. Like,
yeah,
it's a team that most people definitely had no expectations, coming this far. I mean, I myself, when they were up against a lot of the other more well-known teams,
Mhm.
I thought that they were just, gonna give a decent fight, but end up losing. But
Right.
here they are, showing that they are definitely a strong contender in the Southeast Asian region.
Again, keeping in mind, Execration, they ended up going and winning against them. They beat Geek Fam. They just beat TNC. And I believe even their match against Faceless wasn't a complete stomp. Like, they did okay in it as well. So you start to think about how well this team has performed. And there's 2 spots in SEA. Like, it's them, Mineski, TNC, Geek Fam, and that's pretty much the extent of it. And again, because TNC lost to Geek Fam earlier today, they have to beat Mineski. That's really what it comes down to. If we see TNC lose to Mineski tomorrow, I think that their chances of moving on are really, really limited. And like, it gets to the point where you have to like start beating Faceless, which we just haven't seen any other team be capable of doing.
Yep. Man, well, after seeing the first day, I've kind of limited my choices now.
Okay.
I am going to have to say that the second place spot is now a tie between and Clutch Gamers for me.
Okay.
And I mean, the standings kind of reflect that. But, even though all the matches still need to be played out tomorrow, I think that it's going to be between Mineski and Clutch Gamers at this rate.
I haven't seen any games from Team Bazaar, but the X-Warriors Gaming Unity have clearly not played to the level that I think a lot of people were expecting of them. And
yeah, and I'm really surprised at that.
yeah, it's like the whole SEA region, things kind of get thrown up in the air as to what's actually going to end up being better because they play so many matches against each other. So really cool stuff. I've been so happy with these SEA qualifiers. They've been awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
They've been great.
And I'm only saying this because me and Lumi casted a lot of other tournaments for the Southeast Asian tournaments. It was just always stomps. Every single time. And then all of a sudden, it's like everyone leveled up their game, and the games are just so, like, way more even now. Although the only thing that still is the same is that Faceless is on top.
Right, exactly. I don't think that's going to change. And that's the thing that's interesting, too, because you look at what happens when they get to the international tournaments, and it's like Warriors Gaming Unity, they take a game off of OG, they almost ended up 2-0ing them, if not for a couple of Alchemist picks that happened at the Boston Major.
Right.
And Faceless, they, like, go out in the first round. It's like they end up running up into problems against EU teams, whereas SEA teams, or at least like, the more traditional SEA teams do better in those international tournaments. But
definitely.
That's going to do it for Southeast Asia. That's a nice little wrap-up that we did. I felt like we did good on that.
Yeah, we did good.
Yeah.
Considering it was a long day.
Yeah. 12 hours roughly is what we're sitting at. 13 hours now.
Nice. We did it.
We did it. High five.
High five. Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
You guys are out there, too. You have yourself a great old day. You got to watch a lot of Dota, but there's more Dota to come as well. EU action, and then a little bit later on today also, it's North American Dota. It's all great stuff. And yeah, I think that we're going to hop off now, and you know what I want to do? I want to play some Dota. You down?
Yeah, you're alone on that one.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. We will see you tomorrow, and take care.
E-Gaming Bet.